Hudson County View Live Uncut. I'm your host, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, John Arhitis, and we're going to talk about the latest and greatest in Hudson County news as we do every week. Obviously, we were off last week, so a lot to talk about, but obviously the big election, not just of the spring, really, of this year, the Bayonne Municipal. So we're going to tell you quite a few things there. We're going to talk about early voting. We're going to talk a little bit about a federal lawsuit, $125,000 settlement with a former City Hall employee. Going to chat a little about that. And we're also going to talk about the drama that's been surrounding the debates or lack thereof this week. So we're going to, and actually also on the topic of the Peninsula City, today sitting next to me will be 3rd Ward Council candidate Peter Franco. And certainly there's other things going on in the county as well. We're going to talk a little bit about last night's Jersey City Council meeting. One thing that got a lot of attention was these new Class B police uniforms, $512,000 approximate dollar contract, and that got approved 7-1. So we're going to talk about what exactly led to this being a little controversial, and we're also going to talk about what's happening in the Mile Square City. We got some things happening out of Hoboken, as we often do, and there's actually a lawsuit coming out of Union City as well, and that is a police officer alleging that the chief did use discriminatory practices and not promoting him. So that's an interesting one as well. So all that and probably a little bit more right after we hear a word from our sponsors.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View Live and Uncut, John Arhitis, and as I mentioned a few moments ago, today we're joined with Bayonne 3rd Ward Council candidate Peter Franco. Peter, thanks for coming in.
Good to see you, John. Thank you for the opportunity. As you know, I was looking forward to a debate, but that seems like a difficult task in Bayonne right now. But I'm happy to be here, answer the questions, and hopefully at the end of this interview, voters will have a better understanding of my character, my record, and what I plan to do as the next 3rd Ward Councilman. All
right, thanks, Pete. Yeah, I mean, obviously debates are not an open and shut case here in the Peninsula City, but we'll talk about that later. So, look, obviously, we've talked about this for years. It's one capacity to the other, but I think it would be good for people to just hear directly from your mouth what exactly happened in this 2008 court martial. Obviously, there was a conviction that says you had sex with an underage child, right? Now, you've maintained your innocence throughout, and obviously this has become campaign fodder. Phil Swaminski's mentioned this 5, 6, 10 times, whatever it is, and I'm sure this is something you'd like to address.
Yeah, so as you know, I mean, you wrote the story in 2019. I've maintained my innocence. This is something that is over, that was alleged to happen over 2 decades ago. Again, I've maintained my innocence throughout this entire thing. The fact is I've been transparent about it. I haven't hid anything. I've put out a statement. I've turned around and released information regarding the case, folks that I served with in the Army as well. The bottom line here is folks that, I was around that time, 12 to 14 hours a day for several years and stuff, all those folks from the service support me. They still continue to support me to this day. I think that speaks volumes. I don't want to get into, relitigating the case. I know the mayor wants to spend a lot of time talking about 20 years ago, but 20 years ago, I was 19 years old. You know what I mean? 20 years ago, a lot of things were different, I think, yeah, I mean, that's ultimately it.
Okay, so obviously was at a court martial, and I think a lot of people don't know what that is compared to Superior Court or federal court. So could you just explain to us, what the difference is? Did you have legal representation? Like, how does that all work?
So I know there's a lot of military experts online. The fact of the matter is a court martial is much different than an actual, a regular civilian trial. For example, not to bring up any other politician, but it's pretty well known with Bob Menendez and the hung jury trial. So you ultimately need every single member of that jury to vote, guilty, right? So in the military court martial, it's just a majority. It's not a full, unanimous thing. I think when you go back and you actually look at all the charges and look at everything, the fact is that I beat 7 of the charges. I still claim my innocence. I did not take a plea deal. And look, the fact of the matter is, it's well over, almost 20 years ago when we talk about this. So, I feel like, look, you just got to be honest with the folks. And the fact is, when I'm asked about it, I explain it thoroughly. I've released all the documents related to this. And, simply that's really all there is to say on it. I mean, like I said, I've been transparent on the matter. But, the fact is, I'd really love to talk about the issues, right? But if we're going to stay on the topic of like sexual harassment in court, I just want to remind the viewers at home that I'm not the guy that's going to court next week. That's Mayor Jimmy Davis and Gary LaPalooza, and that's related to multiple, at least one of the several sexual harassment cases that have taken place in the city of Bayonne under the Davis administration.
Fair enough. Look, we'll move on, but I just, one more thing. So obviously, like you said, the majority ruled the way they did. How do you think we ended up at that result? What's in your estimate?
Well, I don't want to go in and relitigate the entire case. What I will say to folks is that the trial took, 2 days, ultimately. That's pretty fast. You could thank Congress for the fact that they expedite, court-martial hearings. That's really where we're in, I think, look, the folks that know me, I was born and raised in Bayonne, involved in so many programs and stuff like that. I have tremendous support of my neighbors and friends and the different families in Bayonne, plus the support of the military that I served with, It's kind of frustrating because it's like when we talk about they're so quick to, it takes a lot to join the service, right? And I'm proud of my record and I'm proud of what I've done in the military and what I've accomplished. And it's just unfortunate, this one side that, it wants to be the focus of everything and somehow tarnish everything that I've done, throughout my life.
All right. So as you just started to mention, let's talk about your platform. What is your platform, and why are you the best choice for the Third Ward?
Well, I have on my website, I have outlined a ton of items. I would refer the folks to go to franco4bayonne.com and check that out. They could also, if they have any personal questions, feel free to reach out to me. All the contact information's there. But look, the fact is, Bayonne's dirty. And I'm not just talking about the crime and the filthiness of the streets. We have dirty politics plaguing City Hall for quite some time now, whether it's developers or contractors and their influence over our elected officials. So my platform is really going in there and cleaning it up. I think we could put some pay-to-play laws in place. Ultimately, these laws, they exist in Jersey City and Hoboken, and I think they do an effective way to kind of at least hold or police the politicians who can't police themselves ultimately. In addition to that, while I believe we should do what's legally right, we should also do what's ethically right as well. And we should hold ethics board meetings, and have some more accountability in the decisions that are made by the city leaders. We haven't had an ethics board meeting since June of 2014, which is exactly when Team Davis took office. So the irony in that. But,
Pete, let me stop you there. We're just going to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll let you finish your thought right after this break.
Stevens Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Good Friends Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a refer a friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Hudson County View Live Uncut, and I'm still here with Bayonne 3rd Ward Council candidate Peter Franco. So Pete, you were just finishing your point about how the ethics board hasn't met in 8 years.
Yeah, and so I think it's important, like I said, we have to do both what's legally right as well as ethically right for our city to run and have the best government possible for the folks. And I think the only way we get there is by electing people that are not conflicted and people that have a record of doing the right thing ultimately. And I think I'm that candidate for for 3rd Ward.
So evidently, there's 3 candidates, right? You have the incumbent, Councilman Gary LaPalooza, you have Board of Education President Maria Volato, and obviously yourself. So another thing that we've heard from the Davis campaign quite a few times is that you're basically just running as a spoiler and you're in this to be Sharon's attack dog. So what do you say to those that sentiment?
Well, I say that the mayor's insulting all of the folks that signed my petition to get me on the ballot. The fact is it's no secret that I've been friends with Maria and stuff, but that we have a different belief system on certain things. I mean, when we look at, look, at the end of the day, I've advocated against the Davis administration, which included Sharon Nadrowski for 7 years. So, make no mistake about that. So my job is not going in there to ultimately link up with whoever the mayor is or whatever. I'm there to hold the line against whoever is the mayor. I got into this race because I believe I'm the best candidate. I don't see the issues that I've talked about over the years really being in the forefront of either Gary's campaign or Maria's campaign. So. Okay.
So your first run in office, obviously you went for that special election in 2019 in the 1st Ward. Obviously you've since moved, you're in the 3rd Ward. And while not a bad first showing, it wasn't particularly close. So why do you think this is a different result? A lot of people tell me Councilman LaPalooza is a sure thing. Why do you disagree?
Well, I disagree because I'm going door to door. I mean, because I walked his district. And I think, the reality is the old saying, signs don't vote. I don't shy away if somebody has a Davis sign. I go knock on their door. Because, 9 times out of 10, it's the homeowner, that doesn't live there that has the sign up, but you're talking to renters who are just, and they have a different opinion. So I think, look, I base things off of the fact that I've been in the street and the response that I'm getting from folks, and the response is good. And I think it was good in 2019, but I think, don't forget, it was me running in a single election against Sharon, Jimmy, Kenny, councilman, congressman, you name it, Senator Menendez, everybody. So I think, for the showing that we had, that was a pretty huge success.
All right. So unequivocally not running as a spoiler, you think this is a winnable race?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, who does anything to lose? I'm not that guy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So now, before you were a candidate, you did some video work for the Citizens for Strength and Security Fund, right? This was this federal PAC that started the Dirty Davis campaign, right?
So I don't know. So here's the thing. So Marvel Media Marketing is the company that I run. I do media marketing, right? Mm-hmm. People will send in and request for this. I work with everybody from politicians to ESPN radio hosts and stuff like that. So. And my company does the graphics for all of them. So I don't ask questions of where, what's coming from. It's a private business, you know what I mean? And I think it was well before I was even in the race. So.
Oh yeah, I said before you were a candidate.
Yeah.
So now that PAC obviously just disappeared. It's no longer available on the FEC site. And, we've obviously heard a lot about the Government for the People PAC. We've heard a lot about the Committee to Advance New Jersey. I mean, what do you think about these Bayonne races just getting so expensive and just getting all this interest from outside of the city?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, right, it's the voters are going to choose. But it's tough with the influence and the amount of money that's coming in. I just saw 2 articles. One was negative towards Sharon and one was negative towards Jimmy from HUD Post. And I thought that was, was pretty interesting in looking at that. But here's another example. Both Gary on Team Davis, Maria on Team Nadrowski have both received money from super PACs. I'm the only candidate who has spent my own money in this race and raised money honestly. I mean, You saw the other night at the council meeting. I mean, I came in there with $35,000 worth of big checks and stuff that the Davis campaign has taken. I mean, it's hard to compete with that, you know? I mean, for what they get in one check would be my entire campaign budget, you know?
What do you think you've spent so far?
I think probably $2,500 to this point, and I think we'll probably get just under $5,000 by election day, you know, because election day is always expensive and all of that, so.
So look, I mean, you're going to spend, we'll call it 5,000, we'll go with your number, and the councilman will probably have over 100,000 if we had to take a guess, right? I think that's fair.
Yep.
I mean, why do you think that that's inconsequential? Maybe not inconsequential, but it doesn't make or break the race.
No, you know, so here, look, I mean, it's clearly David versus Goliath here, you know, in that aspect. I mean, they do have a ton of money, $100,000 to run. You know, in 2019, I think there was $140,000 up against me, and I think I spent $15,000 around that time. But, you know, listen, money buys politicians, it doesn't buy votes. So I think when we go door to door and we're talking to people, we're going to have a great chance.
All right, and quickly, you know, running short, but so when we're talking Suez, you've went after them and they've basically said you're full of it. So your thoughts on this?
Well, the fact of the matter is, and you know, I can point to my record, whether it's Skanska, you know, who was building the Bayonne Bridge using our water illegally, whether it was, you know, a lessee, you know, a developer, and Suez, I'm going to hold them accountable. The fact is that, you know, we had a tragedy that happened in 2018. There was a tort claim with all information related to that. You reported on the story. And that should have been the wake-up call to fix this, because holding Suez accountable is not just about water rates and protecting the environment. It's about protecting Bayonne lives.
Thank you, Pete. Appreciate your time. Best
Thank
of
you.
luck. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. We're not done yet. We'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick, built to defy expectations.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View Live and Uncut, John Arhitis. So actually something that I didn't mention, but I think bears mentioning, is on Monday, Hudson County Community College named the entrance atrium of their North Hudson campus over in Union City, that's 4800 John F. Kennedy Boulevard, after Congressman Sires. So certainly Congressman Sires is a longtime political figure in Hudson County, a former West New York mayor, assembly speaker, and this is actually his 8th term in Congress. So he's retiring at the end of the year. And it looks like Rob Menendez is the front runner to succeed him. But we're not talking about that election, actually. We're just talking about the renaming. So we heard from quite a few people, of course, that included Hudson County Community College President Christopher Reber. He said Congressman Sires' story is similar to the story of so many of our students and alumni. He and his family immigrated to the United States from Cuba looking for a better life. He faced many challenges, but through perseverance and hard work, Congressman Sires achieved the American dream. First as a public school teacher, then a successful businessman, and finally as an elected official and public servant. We also heard from the Hudson County Community College Board Chair, that's William Netchert, and Tom DeGees, who's actually been friends with Albio Sires for decades, and of course he's the county executive, but they met way, way, way before that when they were both in college and they both played basketball at St. Peter's University. And I thought the county exec actually had a pretty humorous anecdote that I'll share with you if you haven't seen it already. And he said, after graduation, a bunch of us rented a gym, and Thursday nights we would get together and play half-court basketball for an hour or two, and then go to the bar for about 3 or 4 hours. And at that time, the congressman said, not me, and DeGees smiled and he said, yeah, he was there. So, that was, something you don't see every day at a press conference. It was kind of amusing to me, and hopefully to you as well. But he mentioned that was the bonding that led to friendship, the friendships that Billy had talked about, that led to supporting each other and helping each other whenever they needed it. So, of course, I want to tell you what the congressman said. And, he said, actually, that community colleges here in New Jersey are just as important as state institutions. So, on that end, he said, look at today. Look at all the kids that are going through here that will benefit from making the county colleges be at the table. And today, community colleges are just as important as state schools. Because kids come through here, they go straight to the state schools and graduate. At least if you come through here, they give you 2 years and then you can make a decision. Maybe you go to work and you go at night to the state school and you get a degree there, but the degree is what's important. And after the press conference was over, after they unveiled the atrium, which you see in that photo, the dedication there, I had a chance to speak with the congressman about some national issues, so we're going to play that clip for you. One thing that a lot of people are talking about is this Florida judge about a week and a half ago overturned the travel mask mandates. Just what do you think about that decision, and where do you think that leaves the American people and the CDC, so on and so forth?
I mean, there's a lot of confusion whether to wear the mask or not. If you're not unsure, wear the mask. I wear the mask when I travel. I don't know who's sitting next to me. It's just a precaution. And the governor, I really have no words for the governor of Florida. Kind words, let me put it that way.
Very good. And now we're talking about also the national budget, Build Back Better, Joe Biden. A lot of people are talking about inflation. So when people come to your office and they want to hear from you and the Democratic majority about what they could do about inflation, what would you say to that?
Well, inflation, you don't cure inflation in 3 weeks. You don't cure inflation in 3 months. This has been creeping up because of COVID, because of the merchandise not being so far behind. So this is going to take a little time. But one good thing is that we have only a 3% unemployment rate. That is going to happen.
Very good. And finally, Congressman, there was a report at NJ Advanced Media that noted all the members of the delegation's voting record, and they pointed out with you that you voted at every session, but you participated remotely. So any particular reason why that was?
Yes, I had some health issues. I had a hip replacement. I'm getting a knee replacement. My wife had a knee replacement. So I didn't want to take any chances because a lot of the members in Congress now are tested, including Pelosi, tested positive. So I'm not going to go there until I am fully recovered.
Very good. And anything else about?
By the way, I did not miss any votes.
Yes, no, I noted. All right, we're going to hear one more break for our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
Ford made their first all-electric SUV a Mustang. Rapid acceleration, reactive handling, 300-mile range. You control how it feels and how it sounds. It knows you. It dials into your preferred settings. It has an array of driver assist technology. Cameras and sensors enhance your awareness and provide you with additional control. But it's more than cutting-edge technology. It's the spirit of it. It's a Mustang.
Hudson County View Live and Uncut, John Arhitis. So let's talk about Bayonne. I mean, this is where all the action's at, right? We're just 12 days out. So first of all, they actually settled a federal whistleblower lawsuit with a former City Hall employee last month. And, it's not a small number, $125,000. So this is PJ Leonard. And let's talk about what the settlement says. I mean, not a heck of a lot, but it basically says that the NJIIF, which is the New Jersey JIF, basically, the Joint Insurance Fund, is going to deliver to counsel for plaintiff a check in the lump sum amount of $125,000. That will go to his attorney, and that's Patrick J. Leonard, as I just mentioned. So he filed suit first in Hudson County Superior Court and then eventually in U.S. District Court, which is federal court, back in July 2016, and he alleged various illegal business transactions by the city that he suffered the administration's wrath for reporting them. He talked about, for example, reporting quote-unquote illegal health benefits to the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services, and in turn, you saw 3 council members, that was Sharon Ashdrowski, Sal Galais, and Gary LaPalooza, ceased receiving those benefits. And, he also made a pretty bold allegation at a council meeting in October 2015, saying that then Business Administrator Joe DeMarco took a bribe. And actually, as part of this lawsuit, DeMarco will receive $3,000 from Leonard to resolve a countersuit alleging defamation. So obviously this got pretty messy. Obviously this got pretty drawn out, but it looks like it's in the rear view for the most part. But when I spoke to PJ, he told me that he hasn't actually gotten paid yet, among other things. So I'll just read it to you. He said, "I stand by every statement I ever made. If I was wrong, why did they settle? The only reason I agreed to allow anyone else to be part of this was to expedite the dragged out lawyer shenanigans. They are still playing games because I haven't seen any compensation." So with that, I mean, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun in Bayonne between now and then. But, on a more technical note, I guess if you want to call it that, there's actually early voting in Bayonne. This is happening across New Jersey, as we know, and it'll probably continue to happen for many years. So Bayonne, no exception. Early voting on May 6th, May 7th, and May 8th. Election day still on May 10th. So if you'd like to vote early, you could do so at City Hall. That's, of course, 630 Avenue C. And on May 6th and May 7th, that's going to be open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then on May 8th, they're going to be open from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. That's really all you need to know. The only thing I would add there is obviously if you vote on May 6th or 7th or 8th, you can't vote again on May 10th, even in Hudson County. So with that, let's talk a little bit about this controversy over the debates or lack of thereof, as I mentioned briefly at the top of the program. So as many of you know, I hosted a debate at the Nicholas Oresco School on Tuesday, and we only had 2 of the 3 candidates. We had Council President Sharon Ashdrowski and Dr. Mitchell Brown. Mayor Davis put out a statement a few hours prior to that and said that he was only going to participate in the Hudson Media Group debate. Obviously, that's where we are right now, in the Hudson Media Group studio. And he had never agreed to any other debate, which is a true statement. We've been working on this since the beginning of March 3rd to be exact. We'd reached out to everyone and we continued negotiations. And, they didn't go as successfully as I would have hoped, of course. Would have loved to see all 3 candidates in one room, but it just didn't happen. And now tonight, we've heard from the Ashdrowski and the Brown campaigns, and they have said that they're not going to be attending this evening's debate hosted by Hudson Media Group, moderated by Al Sullivan. So really don't have a whole heck of a lot else to add other than, I guess, 2 things. Number one, just a clerical point that I probably should have said in the moment, but I was really quite flummoxed as it happened. But regardless of that, Dr. Brown said he was under the impression that Hudson Media Group owned the Hudson Reporter, but he was thinking of Newspaper Media Group. So obviously similar names, but very different entities. So just wanted to clarify that point. And the second point is, look, I just think it's a shame that the Bayonne voters will never have an opportunity to hear from the 3 people seeking to be their chief executive on May 10th. Whether I'm moderating, whether it's my friend Pat, whether it's Al, whether it's Terry West, Dan Israel, the list goes on. I just really wish, whether I was involved or not, we could have gotten all 3 candidates in one room on one stage. So it is what it is now, and we just kind of have to roll with the punches. So moving on from Bayonne, just a couple quick hits here, if you want to call it that. The Jersey City Planning Board rejected the Exchange Place redevelopment plan on Tuesday, and listen, it's not often you see these planning and zoning boards reject projects, and it was a pretty definitive vote, 6-0-1. The one recusal was from Council President Joyce Waterman, the reason being she sits on the Exchange Place Alliance board. So the main thing here was about the Caton Monument, the Caton Memorial, and we know how hot things got over that back in 2018 when there was talk of maybe moving that. Certainly that didn't happen. But here people were pretty upset with the plan just because some benches and possibly some greenery might be obstructing the view. And that was enough for the board to say this is a bad plan. And again, they rejected that. And just really quickly, lightning fast here, I just wanted to mention something on Hoboken. We saw an interesting one last week where Hoboken American Legion Post 107 Commander John Kerry called Mayor Ravi Bala a tower of jello over the stalled Western Edge project that would include 18 units for veterans. So I'm just going to quickly read you what he said. It took a mighty harmful action for us to file a joint lawsuit with affiliates of Pegasus Partners against the city. That harmful action took place last year when Mayor Bala, a tower of jello, bowed to the demands of Mayor Stack, who interfered with the redevelopment process and unreasonably prevented 2 projects on the Western Edge from moving forward. So, yeah, that's a phrase you don't hear every day, and I thought it was worth mentioning even if it's a little bit dated at this point. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.